Hi guys, and welcome back to Phil and Jen in the Philippines, my vlog for today. It'll only be a short one today after the marathon I did yesterday, and thank you everybody for those that sat through that rather droning on 1 hour and a few seconds. But I'm going to see if I can condense everything down to under 30 minutes before we go. The subject of the video, and of course I'll do the normal thing for YouTube. Subscribe. I have now, to my very much surprise, 430 odd as we sit here today subscribers, which is 429 because I thought my wife would have been the only subscriber, more than I thought I'd get. So thank you for you guys, and hopefully I'll put together content that you wish to see. What I want to address today is my opinion, and that's all it is, an opinion, on some of the vloggers that vlog here locally. So I'm going to start with a disclaimer. First of all, I don't know any of these people personally apart from one, and I have no real interest in promoting them, but the reason I'm going to mention them, and as you know, there's a myriad of vloggers out there, and the only point that I'm going to mention them is because after viewing their vlogs, there's certain things about them that I think is really important for the viewers out there to look at. Draw your own conclusions from them, but there's a lot of misinformation out there and different styles, which I think is important that you do watch if you're trying to prepare yourself for a place like the Philippines. The first disclaimer is that not one of these, including myself, is the oracle. I state things that have directly affected me and I believe could be of some assistance to people out there watching. My opinions are my opinions. I'm not going to change them simply because I now have a YouTube channel, and I'm not going to try to appeal to all and sundry. What I'm going to do is try to be as honest as I possibly can. I'm not going to guarantee everything I say is 1000% accurate, but it is accurate at the time that I've spoken about it. So, and it is accurate and truthful as I have come across it and I know it. So that's the first thing. The other things are, as I said, the other vloggers, not necessarily the style that I actually like, but the reason I'm mentioning these vloggers is because, like yourself, I watch YouTube, and I was watching the vloggers, and a certain amount I discarded because it was a kumbaya, how fabulous is this, and it was virtually like, you know, no real information that I could glean or take in, and it was a bit shiny and new and wonderful. So these are the vloggers, admittedly, and I suppose I was drawn towards them because most of them are in my general vicinity, and I could relate to what they were saying. So that's the disclaimer. I don't particularly have any interest in promoting their vlogs. We're certainly not doing any form of reciprocal thing to attain subscribers and whatever. They're just from the perspective of a viewer such as yourselves. And I think also that a lot of them, some of them don't give direct how-to type scenarios and whatever, but I want you to take out of them things that I suggest whilst talking about those vloggers. And of course we'll start with the only one that I personally know, which was Mark Thornton, and probably encouraged me to get into vlogging. Mark was gracious enough to ask me to do a couple of interviews, which I thoroughly enjoyed, on his channel. And his channel is, and I know a lot of you out there are probably watching it already, and this is designed to go to people that may be tripping over this video and are looking for this type of content. Now, Mark's vlog is Mark Thornton. Every man has a story. So I won't put links in because I don't want to. Obviously, I haven't been given permission to buy these vloggers to link them up, but you can look them up. Mark Thornton, Every Man Has a Story. Now the format for his films and videos, if you don't know, is Mark's been here for a period of time. He's married to a Filipina, a really nice guy. He's a Yank, unfortunately, but you know, that is what it is. And his format is he interviews a great deal of people coming to Doomageddon for the first time, and some that have been here for a long period of time, and he gets their life stories and some of the reasons they come over here. And the reason I think it's important that you view his channel is not what these people say, because a lot of them are doing it from a point of ignorance because they've only been here a short time, but to get an understanding and an idea of the type and quality and background of people that are actually coming here. And the good thing about it is it's not concentrated on a particular style and type of person. He interviews everybody. They could be a doctor or a dentist one day, or a psychologist or a chiropractor, and they could be a ditch digger, a military guy. You see what I'm getting at. And they give the reasons why they're, one, possibly considering coming here, two, what their thoughts are on a place like Doomageddon, and he does it warts and all. A lot of them, you've got to take into account, are still in the afterglow of arrival, and they're still seeing a lot of things through rose-coloured glasses, but it's a really interesting cross-section of people, so I would recommend Mark Thornton's channel. The other channel is, and of course he's very popular and probably a lot of you know about him, is Paul, Old Dog New Tricks. Now, Paul's particular style of vlog, and he has an extensive array of videos, is more a diary type situation. I don't know Paul personally. I watched a number of his vlogs, and he has a very laid-back style. Another Yank. There's a lot of Yanks here, but anyway, he's I believe not married to May, but he has a long-term relationship with a young lady here by the name of Baby May, who also has a channel. I haven't viewed her channel to any great extent, so I won't comment on it. But one could say that that Mark is an all-round nice guy. You know, he says the way it is. It's more entertainment. He does have some good information from time to time directly pertaining to a particular subject, but it's like a diary vlog, and it's light-hearted, and you don't have to think too much about it. And he appears to me to be very personable. I enjoy his video, so I'd recommend Mark. Another one is, who's not based here in Doomageddon, but based in San Carlos, is Sunshine Shoulders, Calvin. Calvin I don't know, but I've watched a large number of his vlogs. And the interesting thing about Calvin, one, I believe the right term is an African American. He's been out here for a number of years. I'm pretty sure he's married, or if he's not married, he's a long-term partner with his live-in. He's been here a long time. He settled in San Carlos. There's an interesting backstory with Calvin, and the more you get to know him, the more you appreciate what he's got to say. Calvin is very pro the Philippines, and so he should be, because I think from his videos, the Philippines were Calvin's saving grace. And I have also been aware that there is a lot of knockers for Calvin in the trolls that are out there, a couple in particular, I won't even mention the name, that make assertions against Calvin and most of the continuous vloggers over here about ridiculous things. And let me tell you, I wouldn't be recommending any of these people unless I'd either heard good things about them. Whether or not you like them or not, it's irrelevant. But I know they're honest, and what they say say you know, as accurately as they possibly can. In particular, I feel like I have to come to the defense of Calvin in one respect. I happen to know people that have been assisted by Calvin, or a friend of a friend of a friend, and for no reason they've come out and asked me if I know Calvin, because everyone thinks the vlogging community is very small, and I suppose it is. I don't know Calvin, but I know for a fact that if Calvin says something or states he is helping people, on numerous occasions I have heard secondhand, admittedly, but for no other reason than that he came up in conversation, that what he says is 100% correct. If Calvin says he's going to help somebody, he does help them, and he involves himself in the community. Now, big pat on the back to Calvin. It's not, unfortunately, I'm not like that simply because I'm too lazy, but Calvin's energetic. He's only a relatively young man. He loves the place, he promotes the place, and he's got a lot of great things to say. He travels down to Mindanao a fair bit, he travels around, he's built his house here, he's committed to the country, but a myriad of good information. So there's Calvin. Now there's one other guy, and I'll stop the video because I've only just recently been introduced to him, and I really think he has some interesting stuff. So bear with me. Back again. I had to check it because, as I said, it's only new to me, but I sat down and watched a fair bit of his stuff, and he definitely has a different style. The vlog site is called Regular Guy in the Philippines. He's a younger generation vlogger, well, younger than the guys I'm referring to, and probably around Calvin or Younger's vintage. So check that one out. He's quite humorous. Probably not 100% to my taste, but I have had a chuckle over a number of his videos, so check him out. Anyway, enough of the patting other vloggers on the back. I'd also like to just answer a couple of subscribers which may be interesting for you to listen to in relation to my vlogs. A lot of comments out there are directed towards me, and they've asked me things like, you know, why don't I have a shave and whatever, which I've answered briefly, and why don't I do this and why don't I do that, why don't I walk around, why don't I do Maggette. There are plenty of vlogs online that do that type of thing, and from time to time I will do it. You know, I'll go around and wander and trot around the streets and show you a travel vlog type situation, and when I go places I'll add those in restaurants and do the old thing about taking photos of food and that type of thing. But at the moment, because it's only a new channel, I'm still trying to find my way as to what the format should be that makes it interesting for you to watch. Now, what I've come up with, and I'd like some feedback, a lot of you notice that the particular channel is called Phil and Jen in the Philippines, and no one's really seen Jen at this particular point in time. And there's a reason for that. I'm trying to encourage Jen to go online because I believe that the viewers will be interested in her perspective. But Jen's hesitancy is that once the Filipino goes online, or any of the locals go online, they do open themselves up to a bit of criticism, mainly from their own people, that if they do something wrong or say something wrong or embarrass the Philippines, they get a bit of flack. Now, as you've probably appreciated, Philos are relatively thin-skinned when it comes to a personal attack, unlike Yanks and Canadians or Canucks and Poms and Aussies who are so arrogant they don't care anyway. But the Philos take it to heart. Well, and the other reason is she didn't really think that I would get subscribers, as I didn't think either. And she held back, but now she's getting really involved in the amount of comments, and she's putting her 2 bobs worth in anyway. And we're sitting down last night and we decided that the format and we'd like some feedback if at all possible, the format we decided to do was, you know, a co-hosting type situation. Now I know Jen, until she gets really comfortable, she won't inject too much, but I also know Jen, and I could be surprised, that if I say something wrong, she will jump on it and bounce all over it like a second skin. So I think, because I've seen her public speaking, she's very good. Now, you'll have to forgive her for a little while in regard to her accent. She's a Filipino and she does have an accent, but let me tell you, she can express herself quite readily in English. Grammatic structure might be incorrect from time to time, so don't pick on her for that, but it's rather cute and I like it. But she is a linguist as far as other languages is concerned, other Asian languages such as Thai and even Hindi. So she'll have a valuable contribution. So that's the format that I intend to pursue in the not too distant future. The only precursor to that is, she said, once I get to 500 subscribers, she'll start to appear. You know, I know that's probably a little bit of bait out there, but on the same token too, I think she was also making excuses and never thought I'd get even close to 500 subscribers, but she gave her word and she will appear. And I think it'll give an interesting perspective on everything that I say. Anyway, as I said, I'll probably do another vlog this afternoon. I'd like some feedback if anyone sees this morning as to a suggestion of what I can do differently to other vloggers, because, you know, like, unfortunately, I just don't want to be a travel vlog. I don't want to be a talking head, as you've seen. And oh, the other thing you'll notice behind me, so a lot of people said, you know, I hate the blank wall behind you, so I've popped up a little thing to make it a little bit more interesting. My intention is to go and buy a little bit of equipment to do this, because now that I've obviously got an interest to improve the video quality, so I'll go and do it, and we might get out and about more and show you a little bit more around where I live and where I travel to. So anyway, that's it. There's very little in this video, but I would ask you obviously to get to 500. Please subscribe. Thanks for viewing. I know, look, there's a million and one things you could be looking at and could be doing, but I really appreciate the fact that you're taking the time to look. I even appreciate it more, and at this stage I'm still keeping up with the comments, whether it be a couple of words or sentences. Excuse me. I do appreciate the comments, and I do answer back. Anyway, guys, enough from me. Ring the bell, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, leave a comment. Really appreciate it. Cheers for now, guys.